Hi, I'm Tiffany Johannes with Remax Executive and Charlotte Home Experts, and tonight we're here to talk to you about selling. What do you need to know about selling in today's market? It is our home seller workshop as we kick off the spring. So let's get started. What are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're going to talk about what's going on in today's market, how our current events will impact home sales, what's going on with mortgages today, what's happening in Charlotte's marketplace and surrounding areas. Selling your home in today's market safely, what does that look like? Staging professional pictures and marketing strategy. How can you put your best foot forward even in today's market to get the best possible price? Then we're going to talk about how can you buy and sell today. In today's market, it's crazy. And you might be thinking about selling, but you're wondering, how am I actually going to buy or where am I going to move? We're going to talk a little bit about some options and strategies you might not have thought about yet. And then we'll answer any questions you have. So let's get started. So we really believe, and as you can see, the chief economist for Nationwide Mutual here has posted and shared, as more and more Americans get the COVID-19 vaccine, I think we'll see more and more sellers feeling like it's safer to put their homes on the market and safer to jump in today's market when they're looking at numbers. So I think we're going to see more of you as you find ways to make your home safer and that transition safer, jump into the market. And that's our hope, is that we have more sellers joining the market. And it's not just for us to sell homes, it's also because if you've been sitting on your home for a while and you've been thinking about selling and the pandemic hit, and you're a little concerned or scared about selling your house, after more and more of us get the vaccine, you're probably going to be more open to selling. And I want to talk to you tonight about what that looks like in today's market and what some strategies should be to get you to the next point. But let's get started by talking about what is happening. Home price appreciation is happening. If you haven't noticed, prices are going up pretty substantially. So final numbers are in for 2020, and the Federal Housing Finance Agency said 10.8% is what we grew. When you look at CoreLogic, they said 9.2, and the S&P Shiller index said 10.4. That's nationally. But guess what? We grew at 10 to 11% here in Charlotte. We actually outpaced what was happening nationally. And oftentimes when we're talking about outpacing, people think, I hope we're not getting ready to have some type of recession like we did in 2007, 2008. Well, if you look at the data here, back in 2002 to 2005, before we hit that great recession period, home prices were actually appreciating at much higher than they are on average today, 10.3% between 2002 and 2005. And when you look 2017 to 2020, it's at 6.3. So it's much more modest than where we were back before the Great Recession. So if you're worried about that, do not worry about that in today's market. Charlotte is definitely secure, and with the supply of buyers we have, I don't foresee any issues unless we have some major disaster that's beyond the pandemic, which I don't imagine we're going to have anytime soon. But of course, I don't have a crystal ball. So nationally, home buying power continues to exceed the median sales price, and that implies that the housing is not overvalued today. And that's Mark Fleming. He's the chief economist with First American. When you look at what's happening in Charlotte and you bring it back to us, and this is all of Charlotte, our prices year to date are up 11.8% compared to where they were last year in February. When you look at the 12-month rolling average, you know what? This number over here, right here, 10.3%. That is the difference that we have seen year over year. As we look at it overall, most homes in our market are up 10%. And a lot of you are probably thinking, is it time for me to cash in and move up or downsize? It may be the time. And if it is, we can help you safely transition. But we've got even better news as we look at the numbers for sellers. Might not be the best news for buyers, but it is the best news for sellers these next few slides. Home price forecasts. Well, we just came up 10.3% in 2020. Well, guess what? Overall, they're projecting Mortgage Broker Association 10.3 this year. NAR, National Association of Realtors, 6.6. Zelman, 6. Realtor.com, 5.7. Freddie Mac, 5.3. Fannie Mae, 4.2. And CoreLogic at 3.3. Well, I'm here to tell you that the Charlotte market is going to do more like the 10.3. And when I say the 10.3, I mean we're seeing that 10.3. And consumers reported a significantly more positive view of home selling conditions than they have in previous years. And so as you see consumers engaging and considering moving, sellers have got to think about what's in it for me. If you'd like more details and you'd like us to send you a seller guide, you can post in the notes or you can share or just reach out to me and I'm happy to send this spring seller guide. It tells you a lot about what's happening in the market and it's where I get a lot of good information to help you as well. We put it into this guide so that you can take a look at it. So what's happening with sales? Well, average days on the market, if you look at it, we are in the blue over here. So that blue is saying that we are up to 15 days. So average days to sell, 15 days. That means in less than 2 weeks, your home will be sold. What I have been seeing in the marketplace in Charlotte is homes actually selling same day they list or within a couple of days with multiple offers. And multiple offers, if you're in that situation, you want a seasoned agent to represent you and walk you through that process. Because when you're looking at 2, 5, 10, I've heard several people have 15 to 25 offers, and I've personally had that in my market. What does that look like? How do you ever decide which person to pick, which buyer to pick? And there's a process that you should go through and a diligence that you should, and we're here to show you how to do that. Seller traffic. Well, we've got 15 days on the market, 17 days on the market, but seller traffic is weak. That means how many people are listing their house. So if you've been thinking about listing, you might want to get out ahead of the game as more and more sellers are listing and think about doing it sooner than later. A lot of you thought, well, hey, we're going to have a ton of sellers on the market because of forbearances and what was happening in the market. Well, in Charlotte, we're not seeing that really. When you look at it from a national level, of those who did forbearance, 50.8 are already paid in full and they're good on their mortgage. 33.6 did a workout plan and a repayment process, and 15% are still a little bit in trouble. Even if we added those 15% to our market, we're still not going to have enough sellers to get to where we need to be a even buyer seller's market. Inventory. Right now it's showing 1.9, but you can see steadily over the last 2 years, we've been at 3.8 in the 4-month range. And that means how many months supply of inventory do we have? Well, 1.9 is here. I will tell you that I recently looked up Charlotte. And when I looked up Charlotte and the time on the market, I was in shock. And this was the Charlotte proper. At one time, 2 or 3 weeks ago, single family homes in the city of Charlotte only, there were only 298 homes available. That is a weak inventory. So if you're thinking about selling, think about that. When you look at the homes on the market today, 325,000 compared to in 2016, 939. That is almost a third. So that is why we're seeing price increase, days in the market drop, and looking for more opportunities for our buyers and looking for sellers who want to take advantage of this market and cash out at a high point. Inventory in Charlotte, because here we are in Charlotte, what's happening in Charlotte, not just nationally, we're down 64.2% this year compared to last year. And as of right now on a 12-month average, 35.4%. So the inventory of homes is way down when you look at this number. I mean, this mark is 10,000 across here. And when you look down here, it is significantly lower, 2,958 homes on the market in our region. What's going on with the home prices? Existing home prices year over year, when you look in the South, up 14.6%. I can tell you, as I look at the market and we continue to see numbers come out over the next couple of months, our numbers are going to be in that 14 to 15% compared to last year, if not higher, based on the number of buyers who are putting above asking offers in and agreeing to pay the number even if the house doesn't appraise. The more and more that happens, the more and more we're going to see that price appreciation in our sales. Shiller index, what's going on there? When you look at the numbers, oftentimes we don't see such a sharp incline. Well, right now we're seeing a sharp incline in prices up, and we definitely have that in our Charlotte market. What's going on? Well, right now we are in a serious seller's market. Less than 6 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. 6 to 7 is a neutral market. And above 7 is a buyer's market. Well, right now, we're nowhere near leaving a seller's market. So if you're thinking about it now or in the next couple of years, let's strategize and figure out what makes sense for you. Where are you going? What are you doing? How can we get you to that next point? And here in a few slides beyond, we're going to talk about some key strategies that are going to help you and make you probably think, maybe we should reach out and have a conversation. New listings. This is interesting. We have a couple of slides here where you look at year to date, we've had, let's say February, 4,481 new properties enter the market. And on average, that's down about 2.6% for new listings. Well, remember the 4,481. Buyer traffic, it's very strong in our market. That dark blue in North Carolina and South Carolina means we have buyers out there. They are looking. We actually have a lot of disappointed buyers, because when you go to a house and you learn there are multiple offers before it even comes on the market, that's tough for buyers. And they're looking at strategies and ideas to be that one that you call back and say, yes, you won the bid, you won the offer. So remember, you need to work with an agent that's going to help you make the wisest decision. And it's not always about the best price. Pending sales. So I told you to look 4418. Pending sales, 4819. So more houses went under contract in February than were listed. That should tell you something. If you're feeling like you've missed the boat relative to interest rates because you've heard a little bit about prices going up a little bit and interest rates in the market doing some shifts, it hasn't shifted all that much. And the one thing I'm going to tell you is, if you're thinking about selling on a high and you're going to buy on somewhat of a high, or maybe you're going to rent for a while and look at your options, but from an interest rate standpoint, imagine this. Back in the 70s, it was 8.86%. In the 80s, it was 12.7%. When my mother got her first mortgage on her first house, I remember, I think I was maybe 8 or 9. I was going into 4th grade. I think her interest rate was like 13 to 15%. Can you imagine? We're right now concerned about it tipping over 3%. And they were paying a good 10 to 12% more than that in the 80s. In the 90s, I actually bought my first house. And when I bought my first house, I think I was right in the 7s. And I thought that was a great interest rate at the time, because as you can see in the 90s, we're in the 8s. Then in the 2000s, my next house, 6.29, I thought that was fantastic. Well, when I sold a house a few years ago and I was able to get a rate of 4.25% in the 2010s, I thought that was great. Well, I recently refinanced and I got well under 3. And so when you're thinking about your strategy of moving forward, think about what you can buy today with the interest rates. If you're a seller and you've got that extra cash, that extra equity that you can use in addition to that great interest rate, that is something that you should really think about and look at strategy for. What's happening with activity? Well, this orange line is what's happening this year. And I have this for North Carolina and South Carolina. It's not just Charlotte, it's the whole state. So in North Carolina, last 7-day average as of the 22nd, you can see we were above where we were in 2019 and well above where we were this time 2020. This big old dip is right in the middle of when we all started having to stay home for a while. And in South Carolina, I know you see this little dip, doesn't mean a whole lot, but what I will tell you is South Carolina is really hot in our area, whether it's Fort Mill, Rock Hill, Indian Land, Clover, those are all places that are really happening right now. So if you're thinking about selling in South Carolina, there are a lot of buyers that would like to talk to you. How can you be safe and sell in today's environment? Well, we provide hand sanitizer, booties, we provide signs, we have education to all of our agents, and we make sure everyone has a mask. I actually have this little seller COVID kit that I bring over that every buyer has the chance to utilize if they need it when they're in your house. That includes gloves. We want to make sure that your property is as safe as possible and that we're sanitizing and taking care of you. There are really 5 factors that affect the value of your property, of which you can control. Pricing and condition are some of the biggest. We want to work with you so that we show you how you can stand out in the crowd. Yes, your home is going to move very quickly, but you want those pictures and that appeal to stand out. So you want professional photography. You want someone who's going to do 3D videos and tours so that not as many people are going to stay in your home as long as others because they've seen the virtual tour, they've seen the 3D tour, they've seen the drone footage if it makes sense, so that they know what they're getting when they get to your house. And so you don't have to worry about as much touchy-feely or people who aren't ready to buy. Marketing strategy. You've got to be very focused on making sure you're targeting those people. Staging. It could be as easy as decluttering and organizing and shifting things around, or it could be that we need to bring some furniture in so someone will visualize. And oftentimes in today's market, people think, maybe I don't need to do anything. Well, you might not have to. We've got to talk about that. But it might make sense to throw some furniture in so that people get a feel, because less than 9% of the population can actually visualize what furniture looks like in a vacant home. So we want them to say, that's the one, that's my house. We want to see those multiple offers roll in when you're ready. And we want to make sure that your buyers know what it feels like when they find the right one on the market, when they're looking at the pictures and the details. Our key is educating buyers up front before they get to your home, so they know all the details and information they need to make the wisest and best offer, so that we have the least inconvenience to you. And that's key in today's market. Instant offers. Maybe you don't want anyone looking at your house. Well, instant offers, there are multiple cash buyers out there. They're not going to buy your house for the price you can get in today's active market. But if you think, I just don't want anyone to look at it, and you want to discount a little bit, there are instant offers out there. And you could go to Zillow and OfferPad and all these locations, but you're not going to get the money you would if you put it on the open market today. And there are ways that people are selling their house during coming soon with no showings that would get you substantially more money. So I ask you to hesitate if you're thinking about going for some of these instant offers out there, because it's not really giving you the true value of what's happening in today's market. So I said I would share a little bit about strategies with you. Ribbon offers a great program to where you can make an offer that is cash before you ever sell your house. Or if you have a buyer, let's say you have a son or a daughter right now, or someone who's out there looking to buy a house, Ribbon has some great opportunities. And I will share those with you when you talk to me, because I want to be able to explain the details and make sure you understand the program, because oftentimes when you have multiple offers, cash can be king. And we want to show you how to do that, even if you're using FHA or conventional or VA. And timeline, offer accepted. They give a guaranteed close. You can move in right away and sell your house and finalize on your mortgage after the fact, or you can do it all at the same time. There are different ways to do that. And Ribbon has created some really cool opportunities for buyers and sellers that want to be buyers, that don't want to be homeless at the end of their process. Knock has another great swap program. It allows you with certainty to go ahead and buy another house before you sell your house. And it has some great opportunities as well. So 2 different programs that I'd love to share more information with you on as to how it works and what that process is. Because if you are interested in selling, but you've been hesitating because you don't know where you're going to go, you can't afford to have 2 homes at one time, these programs that Knock and Ribbon have created may well be that bridge of opportunity you need to get the most equity in your home. How can we help you create your future? Everyone's thinking about, what am I going to do when I sell? What is it going to look like? Whether it's today, tomorrow, next month, later in the spring, or 3 years from now. Let's start talking about what that looks like and how you can make the wisest decisions on your investment. So we look through the possibilities. You need to work with someone that's trusted, that's an expert, that has your back every step of the way. Our team at Charlotte Home Experts and RE/MAX Executive do that for you. And we guarantee we will make sure that every need is met and that we match you with every integrity and every case that you possibly could need to have the best solutions for your buying and selling needs. What is your plan? How can we help you? We're here to help. Today, we were just talking about what's going on with the market, how to understand current events and how it affects things. Then we talked a little bit about what's going on with mortgages. Finally, we talked about Charlotte. We integrated information showing you what's happening nationally How does it compare locally? Then we talked a little bit, how do we safely sell our home? And then what are some things we need to do from a strategy standpoint to make your house stand out? And then finally, how do you sell in today's market when you're afraid of being homeless? There are some key strategies we can help you with. Finally, are there any questions that you guys have? We're here to help you. And as we look through the details, we at Charlotte Home Experts and RE/MAX Executive rank very high nationally and locally when you're looking for someone. We do more transactions than the majority of agents throughout our region. So that experience is what translates into solutions for you and getting the top dollar. Happy to help you in any way that we can. When you look at RE/MAX Executive, you've got a team of experts by your side. How can it help? Appreciate your time tonight. If there are any questions I can answer, I'll be happy to answer them. I'm looking to see if I see anything in the chat. I'm not seeing anything right off. So I'll say thank you so much for your time. If there's anything we can do to help you sell, please reach out to us. If you're thinking about buying and selling, we'll help you with that strategy as well. Thank you so much and hope you have a great day. I appreciate your time.